Democrats' policy platform pitch be going forwards? Because I have an idea. The more I've asked and listened and read what people want, it's become quite clear to me that a lot of people on the left, whether they consider themselves Democrats or independents, want bigger swings, clearer goals, even if they're a little too good to be true, because it gives a source of direction, an object of passion. By focusing on grounded, detailed policy that could be achieved through compromise, no one is thrilled about that, because no group vocally supports the compromise. Both bases want to pull in opposite directions anyway. If we're going to commit big. And I think people would be happier with a bigger promise, even if it doesn't happen, as long as they know an effort was made, an opponent stood in the way and took it away from you, rather than a smaller promise they got, but isn't enough for anyone. Because the compromise has no follow-up. And I found a good model for this idea. This is called the Contract with America. In the 90s, Republicans ran on this promise, these 10 bills, that if they were elected and had enough seats, they would pass into law. If they couldn't do it, it was Democrats' fault. It gave a clear sense of stakes, clear goals, and fully depended on you, the voter, letting them win as many elections as you possibly could. So no matter your state, you are contributing to something real. Project 2025 was a successor to this in a way. I do not endorse the ghoulish agenda of either, but that's what Democrats need right now. What are we voting for? What is the goal? What is the plan? Why is it worth giving them enough seats to do something? So I think we need specific bills, big pillar topics, the most important issues to voters that we can get most people to agree on, including swing voters. As I see it, the Democratic Party we had is gone, but we need a new vision for a new party that works for more people. It's time for a reboot. I'm going to add some of my psychology design background into this. 10 is too many. The human brain can keep track of 7 plus or minus 2 things, so about a bell curve of 5 to 9 things, but some of those are already taken up by what you're going to have for dinner later, that phone call you have to make. I think we're really looking at 5 slots max for big, simple, clearly communicated ideas that this party is about. Each one needs a short, succinct catchphrase using common, low-level, accessible words. Each one needs succinct, clear, accessible official videos explaining the policies, and each policy needs a face put to it. One advocate, a representative, who is most liked by the people who care most about that policy area. This will really help clearly follow the narrative and leave an imprint. We recognize and memorize faces. And instead of trusting or expecting one politician to represent everything good to all people, we just need one person they can trust on that one issue. Because not everyone is going to like all issues, and we need to be prepared for that. We need an image of coalition strong enough they'll support the whole for their one pet issue anyway. First, the biggest issue the Democrats should make the cornerstone of their platform is the economy. For a long time, being better on the economy was seen as a Republican position. That is completely cracking. It's the economy, stupid. Every issue should be brought back to kitchen table, affordability, practical benefits for the common American. This needs to include curbing inflation, reducing prices, or making things more affordable. We need a big swing, like universal basic income as a short-term solution while we figure out the rest. Or maybe universal food stamps because it's getting harder to go to the grocery store. Even buying a house, which Kamala Harris campaigned on making more affordable, is more of a middle-class issue. Everyone needs food. There are a lot of issues and realities that can be obscured with propaganda in media and news, but we all go to the grocery store. We can see that with our own eyes. Make number go down. Because the reality is, Americans are working hard, and that's still not enough to get by. I think someone like AOC might be a good fit for this. Second pillar, health. Universal health care for all. I know it's a big swing. I know it's hard. It's the clearest policy that most people are aware of that the progressive left has kind of wanted, and we haven't gotten close to. This helps so many people. It's so clear. We got to do it. I know there will be lots of corporate lobbying against it from health insurance companies. Blast this message out, and small donations will come to fight this and get this out. This will mobilize lots of voter blocs on the left who are very engaged and vocal on social media, whereas general affordability reaches people who are less online. This is a little more specific, but it gets people talking. The ACA was something too good for Republicans to ever successfully stop, even though they've campaigned on getting rid of it several times. I want to see the Obamas come and do interviews and talk about this is the dream that the ACA started. This is what it was always supposed to lead to. Ground it in the normalcy of the present and what we already have. This is just the natural next step. Because healthy Americans have the opportunity to work hard. Healthcare gets people back on their feet. Dollars not spent on backlog medical debt are dollars spent in your communities. We're grounding this not in big picture ethics about all humans are equal, but the small ways that lots of conservatives and independents think. People are sick and hurt, there's no way around it. They need healthcare. Third, crack down on government corruption. Freedom from tyranny. This drove the No Kings protest. We need Supreme Court reform, term limits, a rotating bench of judges from lower courts. There are lots of smart proposals on this. We need something. A way to clearly guarantee no party, no politician can have a stranglehold on power. This has to be more nuanced than just packing the court. Conservatives and independents will be scared away if they think we're giving Democrats a clear guaranteed hold on power. This needs to be clear that it's no systemic advantage for anyone. It guarantees all corruption can't take root. This is lots of the tyranny and big government insecurity that drove lots of the drain the swamp rhetoric, especially among older male voters. It's the same underlying feeling why troops in the streets is not playing well, even among conservatives. People don't want a tyrannical, deeply rooted government that can do whatever it wants. Fairness and freedom are good things that everyone wants. It's also very appealing for Democrats to campaign on, we don't want to put troops in the streets, we don't want that power. We don't want to stack the courts, we don't want that power. We don't think anyone should have that power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. We have affordable groceries, we have healthcare for all, we have safeguarding democracy. What's next? This one is where I'm going to lose a lot of people. Crime. Crime is so high on voters' priority lists all the time, because especially if you're not doing great financially, your mind is at those low-level priorities. Food, shelter, safety, physical safety. Now the problem with this, even if I'm literally promising to give everyone money and healthcare, but even saying we have to do something about crime is going to make a lot of online, very vocal leftists that use voter bloc completely flip and start anti-campaigning in spite of everything good they would get. They need to get over this for the greater good. And yes, I want rehabilitative justice. However, it looks bad to make that your first step because then it looks like you care more about the criminals than the victims. So I don't know, there may be ways where we need to increase police in certain areas, but also body cams, training, mental health counseling options, because a cop is one tool and not the answer to every problem. I think Zohran Mamdani might be threading this needle. He's talked about things like mental health services and social workers in the subways, but I think he is still drawing some negativity from the outside. So I don't know if this is a safe strategy. Then we have immigration. This is a tricky one, but it needs to be done. It's too high an issue to ignore and not talk about at all. I think the tagline here is right way immigration. And the pitch here is a complete reform of the system. Not deportations and imprisonment, but registration, documentation. We don't need a wall, we need a gate. The wait times are horrendous. The system is horrendous. We need the Ellis Island of the South. Don't you think immigrants should pay taxes if they're here? Don't you think we should reward hard workers? Don't you think that's in the spirit of America? We need to replace this vague image of actual space alien invaders with the hype, the fandom of patriotism, of more Americans, of growing the team. We want to build hype and transfer that into resources for immigrants trying to do their best. You are welcome here. You're one of us here. We're all better for you being here. Immigrants are people who think America is awesome too. And finally, I have no clue how to crack this one. Education. More education. Better education. There are so many groups of elite reactionary Karens who've infiltrated school and local elections for power just so they can redirect money to private schools using wedge issues like trans rights to get there, that this is an uphill battle. Any conversation about protecting the kids needs to be rerouted from hate speech into funding schools, safer schools, better schools and programs for every kid, for your kid. Free public college wouldn't be bad. And honestly, I deeply want common sense gun reform and the Equal Rights Amendment, including strong protections for all LGBT Americans, including myself, I'm a lesbian, and transphobia is becoming a safety crisis for some of our most vulnerable. But I think talking about anything 2A or LGBT is so toxic right now because we're in the heat of a propaganda wave about those things. So put them on the platform, don't lead with them in the ads. What you should put in every ad is the rich are going to pay for all of this. The more they complain against it, the more they bankroll opposition and ads against it. We ask who's paying for this, and we call it fake. We call them cringe. Billionaires can't buy enough votes for this. It's all of us together against a common enemy, but one that's actually screwing us over. If we need a cool one to say that's fine, I don't know, Mark Cuban, I guess. Hate and bigotry drives a lot of people. I can't stop that, but I can point them in the right direction. Elon Musk is a fucking loser. Anyone who defends him is a sellout, a traitor, and a loser too. Democrats should be the party by Americans for hardworking Americans. All of us. It's America for you versus America for the elites. Where do you stand?